Absorb what is useful, discard what is not, add what is uniquely your own. Knowing is not enough, we must apply. Willing is not enough, we must do. I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times. Mistakes are always forgivable, if one has the courage to admit them. Adapt what is useful, reject what is useless, and add what is specifically your own. The successful warrior is the average man, with laser-like focus. If you love life, don't waste time, for time is what life is made up of. To hell with circumstances, I create opportunities. A wise man can learn more from a foolish question than a fool can learn from a wise answer. Do not pray for an easy life, pray for the strength to endure a difficult one. Real living is living for others. Showing off is the fool's idea of glory. As you think, so shall you become. Do not be tense, just be ready. Not thinking but not dreaming. Not being set but being flexible. It is being wholly and quietly alive, aware and alert, ready for whatever may come. If you always put limits on everything you do, physical or anything else, it will spread into your work and into your life. There are no limits. There are only plateaus, and you must not stay there, you must go beyond them. Knowledge will give you power, but character respect. Be happy, but never satisfied. Empty your cup so that it may be filled, become devoid to gain totality. It's not the daily increase but daily decrease. Hack away at the unessential. In the middle of chaos lies opportunity. Defeat is a state of mind. No one is ever defeated until defeat has been accepted as a reality. The more we value things, the less we value ourselves. A goal is not always meant to be reached, it often serves simply as something to aim at. Obey the principles without being bound by them. Take things as they are. Punch when you have to punch. Kick when you have to kick. The possession of anything begins in the mind. Life itself is your teacher, and you are in a state of constant learning. Do not allow negative thoughts to enter your mind, for they are the weeds that strangle confidence. Notice that the stiffest tree is most easily cracked, while the bamboo or willow survives by bending with the wind. A quick temper will make a fool of you soon enough. For it is easy to criticize and break down the spirit of others, but to know yourself takes a lifetime. Man, the living creature, the creating individual, is always more important than any established style or system. Using no way as way, having no limitation as limitation. Do not deny the classical approach, simply as a reaction, or you will have created another pattern and trapped yourself there. Be like water making its way through cracks. Do not be assertive, but adjust to the object, and you shall find a way around or through it. If nothing within you stays rigid, outward things will disclose themselves. Empty your mind, be formless. Shapeless, like water. If you think a thing is impossible, you'll only make it impossible. Ultimately, martial art means honestly expressing yourself. It is easy for me to put on a show and be cocky, or I could show you some really fancy movement. But to express oneself honestly, not lying to oneself, that, my friend, is very hard to do. Forget about winning and losing, forget about pride and pain. Let your opponent graze your skin and you smash into his flesh. Let him smash into your flesh and you fracture his bones. Let him fracture your bones and you take his life. Do not be concerned with escaping safely, lay your life before him. A fight is not won by one punch or kick. Either learn to endure or hire a bodyguard. Preparation. For tomorrow is hard work today. The key to immortality is first living a life worth remembering. To me, the extraordinary aspect of martial arts lies in its simplicity. The easy way is also the right way, and martial arts is nothing at all special. The closer to the true way of martial arts, the less wastage of expression there is. If you spend too much time thinking about a thing, you'll never get it done. Those who are unaware they are walking in darkness will never seek the light. A wise man never plays the fool, but the fool always tries to play the wise man. Only the self-sufficient stand alone. Most people follow the crowd and imitate. Flow in the living moment. We are always in a process of becoming, and nothing is fixed. All fixed set patterns are incapable of adaptability or pliability. The truth is outside of all fixed patterns. Self-knowledge involves relationship. To know oneself is to study oneself in action with another person. When one has reached maturity in the art, one will have a formless form. It is like ice dissolving in water. When one has no form, one can be all forms. When one has no style, one can fit in with any style. Great check mark. Let's continue with the next big part of Bruce Lee's quotes, without heading and without numbering, in English only. Do not seek truth, only cease to cherish your own opinions. To know oneself is to study oneself in action with another person. Simplicity is the key to brilliance. Be a practical dreamer backed by action. Learning is never cumulative. It is a movement of knowing which has no beginning and no end. The spirit of the individual is determined by his dominating thought habits. To understand your fear is the beginning of really seeing. The consciousness of self is the greatest hindrance to the proper execution of all physical action. True refinement seeks simplicity. A good teacher protects his pupils from his own influence. The less effort, the faster and more powerful you will be. Be self-aware, rather than a repetitious robot. In order to control myself, I must first accept myself by going with and not against my nature. To know oneself is to be aware of oneself in action. The human will is free, it can move in any direction, but freedom means responsibility. Faith is a state of mind that can be conditioned through self-discipline. Martial arts is not about fighting, it is about building character. Defeat is not defeat unless accepted as a reality. The man who is clear and simple does not choose. What is, is. To be or not to be is not a question of choice. You must have complete determination. The worst opponent you can come across is one whose aim has become an obsession. Don't think, feel. It's like a finger pointing away to the moon. Don't concentrate on the finger, or you will miss all that heavenly glory. True observation begins when one is devoid of set patterns. Life is never stagnation, it is constant movement, unrhythmic movement, as we have constant change. Things live by moving and gain strength as they go. A martial artist has to take responsibility for himself and accept the consequences of his own doing. The function and duty of a human being is the sincere and honest development of potential and self-actualization. The essence of fighting is the art of moving at the right time. Understanding comes about through feeling, from moment to moment in the mirror of relationship. The more you understand yourself, the more you understand the world, and the more you understand the world, the more you understand yourself. Learning is a constant process of discovery, a process without end. Do not divide life into compartments. There is no actor, no fighter, no philosopher. Only the man. The man who has attained mastery of an art reveals it in his every action. Real progress is not measured by the size of the body or the number of techniques, but by the depth of understanding. The word, superstar, is an illusion. In order to taste my cup of water you must first empty your cup. To understand oneself requires observation, and observation requires freedom. The primary reality is not what I think, but that I live, for those also live who do not think. To live is to express oneself freely in creation. Real style is not having a style. A martial artist lives by acting, not by thinking of acting, nor by being caught in the act of thinking. The less one has to express, the more one has to explain it in words. Be at peace, not in pieces. In movement, be like water. In stillness, be like a mirror. In response, be like an echo. When the opponent expands, I contract. When he contracts, I expand. And when there is an opportunity, I do not hit, it hits all by itself. The essence of being human is that one does not seek perfection. Concentration is the root of all the higher abilities in man. Defeat is not being knocked down, it is refusing to get up. The martial arts are ultimately self-knowledge. A punch or kick is not to knock the hell out of the guy in front, but to knock the hell out of your own ego, your fear, your hang-ups, and your lack of confidence. The will to win is important, but the will to prepare is vital. Real strength is not in power or technique, but in the ability to express oneself honestly. Being still does not mean don't move. It means move in harmony with the body and the mind. What you habitually think largely determines what you will ultimately become. Art calls for complete mastery of techniques, developed by reflection within the soul. It is not a daily increase, but a daily decrease. The height of cultivation always runs to simplicity. The highest technique is to have no technique. My technique is a result of your technique, my movement is a result of your movement. When I look around, I always learn something, and that is to be always yourself. Honesty in self-expression is the most important thing in life. Ultimately, the greatest help is self-help. You must be shapeless, formless, like water. When you pour water in a cup, it becomes the cup. When you pour water in a bottle, it becomes the bottle. When you pour water in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. The mind is like a fertile garden, it will grow anything you plant, beautiful flowers or weeds. And so it is with successful, healthy thoughts or with negative ones. A good life is not about comfort but about growth. The moment you have nothing to lose, you are free. Self-knowledge is the basis of martial arts, for in knowing yourself you know how to use yourself. Humility forms the basis of honor. Success means doing something sincerely, honestly, and completely. The martial arts are ultimately self-knowledge.